to our project. Mr. Pierce, you're here today to tell us a little bit about the project quickly and then introduce our speakers, right?
You bet, Mark.
All right.
Like you say, 80% of success is being there and showing up. Our work day, Saturday, October 24th, from 8 till noon. That's 363 days since our last. We hope everyone can make it. There should be plenty to do. Our scope is installing fencing and planting trees around the border of the Rotary Centennial Park on Ceres. What to bring? Make sure you bring your respirator, of course, safety glasses, gloves, wheelbarrows, shovels, and I'll tell you that soil is a little harder than Lower Park. So if you have bars to bust that up, we will have some holes pre-dug, but I'm guessing we're going to have to do some fine tuning. Would also like to thank the kind help from Steve Christoffel, John Ryan, and Les Herringer for providing a bunch of the supplies we're going to be using that day. So Tom Lando. Everyone knows Tom.
Mark.
He doesn't need an introduction other than the fact that he was a past president of Rotary in 2010 to 2011. I did a little research on Tom and found an article in the News and Review from 2003, A Day in the Life of Tom Lando, that says he's arguably the most powerful man in Chico. So with that, I give you Tom Lando.
Arguably or just true? Am I on? Are you done, Mark?
I am done.
Okay. So today we are showing off Rotary Centennial Park, which marks obviously the club's both morning and noon 100th anniversary. Centennial Park is a 5-acre neighborhood park located on the north side of town at Ceres and Whitewood. And actually, this is my whole part in the presentation. Ann Willman, the general manager of Chico Area Park and Recreation District, and Greg Melton, who is a landscape architect and designer of the park, and more importantly, most importantly, Jason Bouget, who has a responsibility to make sure the park gets built. So here's Ann.
So first and foremost, there is a better photo of me than with my mouth open and a microphone in it. I would like a nice portrait like the other gentleman in the photo. And my second takeaway from today at being Studio 100 is Mark Francis's mad dance skills. And so we can all start dancing like this. So I am really grateful to be here. This is probably one of the most positive things that has happened in 2020. And we are really looking forward to it. So Rotary Centennial Park is something that we are excited about, and quite honestly, it would not happen without the collaboration between Rotary, CARD, the City of Chico, Greg Melton, and everybody that has kind of come out of the woodwork, as well as all the businesses that are willing to help support and donate. I'm sorry, I don't know how to switch to the next slide. Jessica, the magic keeper. I wanted to give you a little history about the park, and then we'll have Greg come up and tell you about the design of the park and the play features and why they were chosen. Jason will talk to you a little bit about the work days and what those will entail, and then I will finish it up with kind of how we want to make sure that everyone gets signed up for those work days so that we can make sure that everybody has waivers signed prior to coming out and working, because you know we are a public agency, so of course we have to monitor our risk. So this park has long been coming. I think Jason can even probably share a story of when he was growing up as a child living near the park, very excited that there was going to be a park there, and now he's a man in his 40s who is going to actually build it. So that's pretty exciting. The land was purchased in 1994 by the City of Chico. It was really part of a legal battle and a concession. And so all of a sudden there was 5 acres that was going to be a future park. Back in 2010, the land was transferred to CARD as part of some of the park transfers that we had with other neighborhood parks in our community. There have been 2 attempts to pass a neighborhood park assessment similar to what there are for other neighborhood parks within our community. However, both of those attempts have failed. So therefore, the reason that the park hadn't been built in the past is there was no funding for future maintenance. It's often easy in a public agency to find money to build new things, but in order to continue to maintain them, you need to find a revenue stream in order to do so. Back in 2019, the Rotary Club approached CARD and said, hey, we're looking for a project for 100th year. And that's how this project came to life. We had 5 acres that needed to be developed. And this seemed like a great project to really celebrate the 100 years of service that the Rotary Clubs have provided in Chico. And you know, at that point, then the CARD Board of Directors fully supported CARD taking on the maintenance of that park. That is a long-term investment that will be for years to come. And I'm proud to say that, you know, our organization is fully behind that. And we're looking forward to having that park on our books and just serving the neighborhood. I will tell you, we've had several neighborhood meetings to meet the folks that are there. They're always quite comical because I think that they participated in several of those meetings in the past. They keep asking us, is it really going to happen? And so when the signs went up, you got a little bit more excitement. And then when the fences are going up and then you see tractors out there, they'll really realize that it's happening. So I don't doubt that when we're out there for our work days, that you will find neighbors coming up and thanking you also as Rotarians for being out there to make this park happen. So with that, I will pass it off to Greg, and he will give you a little rundown on what the park is going to look like and why we chose the play features we did.
Thank you, Ann. And just wanted to say this has been a great project. I think we started this in 2004 or 5 with the city, and I don't know if Tom was on board then or whoever was running the show, but here we are to finish what we started, as Rotarians do. So I'm just going to briefly go through the park with you, and Jessica, if you can help me out with your cursor. As you can see, the park is kind of shaped like a butterfly with 2 big wings, and those are the 2 main fields of the park. And they're not big, massive soccer fields. They're more recreation, frisbee, fun, run, throw the ball fields. And we have this great circulation path around the whole park, which was a big amenity that the neighbors wanted, and is actually the #1 trending amenity in most parks, is the trail systems. So, to make it even more special, we wanted to have one central core. So if you ever go by the park, there's the spine right down the middle, and on this spine is where we have picnic areas there in red, the shaded picnic structures that are for moms and dads or kids to sit and eat or watch all the different fun. The playground you're at right now is a big boulder with an on-grade slide, which I believe the Noon Rotary is funding, with a bunch of logs and rocks and just a real free play natural space. As you go higher, there's a tower, a log play tower, just down one, there you go. And that tower is going to be a big slide swing. It's not a part of phase 1, but it'll be coming in the future phases that Rotaries will sponsor. And then the big playground to the top is kind of our swing complex, where we have basket swings, friendship swings, along with a merry-go-round, which is the sponsor from the Sunrise Rotary. Big square guy there in the middle is our basketball court. We moved that away from the residences, as they so didn't want the louder noises next to the residences, but this will be a good-sized basketball court, much like you see at Emma Wilson School, which gets a lot of use. It again is in a future phase, but it'll all be graded and ready to go. So with the Rotary, you see all those green circles. That's all the holes you guys have to dig into that hard rock that we were talking about. We got support with that. I think we even have excavators, so that'll be good, but you'll still need those shovels and picks. So bottom line, benches, tables, picnic tables, all the things we need around the park to rest and enjoy. So it's going to be a really fun park, really interactive. And some of the amenities on the park, Jessica, if you can jump a slide. There you go. So you've seen a lot of these probably in the past. We're doing good old-fashioned swings, make sure they come back into our world. And then the middle picture is what you call a friendship swing. where it's you can have yourself, your kids all on one swing. So you're actually looking at each other. You're not just getting kicked in the back by your kid as they come back at you. So it's really a kind of a new swing that's been out for 5, 6, 7 years now. And then on the side, we're going to do some log play where your kids will be able to just climb and jump, sit, whatever on these logs. And then here are the club sponsored features. On the left is a merry-go-round that we all used to have when we were kids. They've kind of got governors on them now, so they're a little slower than when we would get flung off them. But here you can get your kid inside on these little platforms. They're safely in there with the ropes around the perimeter. Or you can climb to the top like that young man in the green shirt who's probably going to get real dizzy going up there. And then on the right is an on-grade slide. This is part of that natural area where we got boulders and rocks and logs, and you'll be able to come down and enjoy a slide and then climb back up the hill, so you're not climbing up a ladder as much as managing yourself up boulders and rocks. Additionally, a lot of split rail fencing is on our project. We've got over 40 trees on the park, 500 shrubs. We're going to be putting decorative boulders throughout the park. The trees on that soil need an underground drainage. I believe that's one of our early projects right off the bat. And then we'll be putting drainage in the ground. And then, as it says, just lots of fun and digging and gluing and everything else we do out there on a park. So I'm going to turn it over to Jason to talk more about the work days.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I'm really excited about this park. I've lived in that neighborhood when I was a kid, and you know, the amount of start and stops this park has unfortunately burdened it's kind of led up to this point. So I'm really excited that we're finally here. We spent a lot of time. My responsibility is really just herding all the cats right now between Rotary, CARD, the contractors, the designers. We've spent so much time getting the logistics done. Spent a lot of time answering lots and lots and lots of questions from Mark and Tom, lots of questions. But we're finally here, and so it's really it's broken into 3 phases. And to quantify those things, it's really the infrastructure under the ground. So this first work scope is going to be putting in the drainage pipe, the excavation of a trench in the drainage pipe to support the trees around the perimeter. What we're going to ask from Rotary is really come out and get that pipe glued up, put into those trenches, and then compacted and put back over. Yes, we will have equipment, but there will be some hand digging, hand movement of soil and turf and such. I mean, dirt and such. The second day is the largest scope of the job, and that is the installation of the split rail fence and boulder installation. We are going to prep the location for digging out the pits for where the posts are going to go. Hand digging in this location is nearly impossible, so we'll be using as much equipment as possible to make this a successful day. There's 1,500 feet or so of fence, 120 posts. We will be doing as much prep work to make that a success. And then locating those boulders so that we move on to the next phase, which is really the cosmetic phase. Bringing in the decomposed granite, applying the shrubbery in the final irrigation paths. So it's really going to be a pop at that point, and we'll have a finished edge park at that point, and then the contractor will come in and finally finalize the turf and the play structures. So 3 big work scopes. We'll probably have a final 4th day either in the future with play equipment or installation thereof of just some of the small opening day type of stuff, but 3 big work days coming up in the next month and a half. I'm gonna hand it back over to Ann.
All right. So just like I had said, I want to make sure that we get everybody to complete the waiver. That was sent out to everybody in both the noon club and the morning club. It's through DocuSign. If you filled it out once, there's no need to fill it out again. It's good for the entire project. If for some reason you did not receive it, please send me an email and I'd be happy to email that to you. And then what we're going to ask you to do is to sign up for the workday. Even if it's the big work day, then that way I can check and make sure that everybody has their waivers. I'll bring some paper ones just in case, but then that way we're all covered. Similar to the email that Dane sent out earlier today for Treat Street, We'll use the same format, so then that way everyone can kind of see who's involved. But again, it gives us that opportunity to make sure that we have all of the backup documentation that we need. Just again, step 3 is to show up for your workday. I think Mark touched a little bit on the items that you need to bring with you, and we'll make sure that we send out reminders in regards to that. Step 4 is don't forget to track your time, because you do get points for showing up. And step 5 is to enjoy first a donut and coffee while you're there, and then a cold beverage afterwards. And I think, Charlie, didn't you say you were bringing cold beverages after that hard work day? And, you know, I really want to thank this club, and I'm honored to be a part of it, of really making Chico a better place to live. Dorian, I think, said it right, which is we all need to say hi to one another and kind of bring us back to the Chico that we all love, and you guys are all a big part of this. So from the bottom of my heart, as well as from CARD, thank you very, very much for making this your project.